Hi, this is Joseph Arthur. Thanks for checking out Come to Where I'm From. Please support us on Patreon, patreon.com/come to where I'm from. We are an independent podcast, and any contributions you can make are greatly appreciated.
Ross the boss.
Hey, boys.
Well, you're getting ready to tour, right? A club tour?
No, we just did the club tour. We just
sold out club tour.
Well, everything wasn't sold out, but
Just
we
say
did.
it's sold out.
Oh, it's sold out.
Sold the fuck out.
the greatest two words the musician could.
Exactly.
Sold out.
Sold
but we
out.
did very well. It was 26 U.S. shows.
Nice.
And the thing about it is that we wanted to have that record out, which is coming out on Friday.
Yeah. Okay.
And
Born on Fire.
Born on Fire. And we didn't have it. We just didn't have it. And we had it. I committed to the tour 18 months ago, and there was no way to know. And instead,
you put out a single or something like that?
we did. We put out. We dropped "Denied by the Cross" on
just listened
YouTube.
to that, yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's a good one.
And the guy AFM did a lyric video,
Uh-huh.
and I think it's great. And my friend here, we just
Hey, who
dropped.
lays him?
Yes, we just
We're
dropped.
new friends. We're pals.
Yeah,
He's a likable cat.
we just put out Maiden of Shadows, which we shot up at the Chance in Poughkeepsie, and Ehud did such a fantastic job with very little time and resources.
Yeah, he's like that. He's a beast.
He came through, and it's really
It was
cool.
a normal day, 2 hours behind unloading.
Yeah,
Venue wasn't open.
Yeah,
Nothing
typical.
was working.
Nah,
The lights weren't
nah,
working.
Of course, it's just typical. But we did what we had to do, and stuff looks good, and it's like 3 days, and we have like 40,000 views.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, and the other one has 94,000
Right.
in less than 2 weeks. So it's getting there. I mean, it's the best we've done.
Yeah.
RTB band, but this record is the strongest
That's
record.
great.
This record is the strongest record that I put out. This is my fourth record on AFM, and it's I'll go to war with this.
Why do you think it's stronger?
Well, because we were together for the lineup that we have now, the lineup that Ehud shot. We toured for 2.5 years. I mean, I was touring before that.
Right.
It was Roast the Boat. But this lineup, this exact lineup with the drummer, with Steve Bolognese on drums, Michael Pond bass, Mark Loeb singing, we've been doing this for like 2.5 years nonstop. And it really solidified our chemistry, our brotherhood together. And, it's like we're a band, and just because I'm a guitar player, I'm a kind of semi-famous guitar player. Famous.
You're famous.
Yeah, but no, I'm not an ego trip guitar player. This is a band situation, and I wouldn't have it any other way. We did the record together. We recorded it. We wrote the songs together. Everyone contributed because I told them because it's not even 2 years since the last record, Born on Fire, which was a really good record and tremendous record. And the label goes, "You got to make another record," and I go, "What? It's not even 2 years." I mean, and these people, the industry thinks you got like songs just flying out of your head, riffs and No, it's just not like that.
Is that a big label?
Takes you long.
AFM is a very big label. It's a major label.
Back in the day, though, bands would be putting out an album a year. At least.
Yeah, I know. I did 6 albums in 6 years with Manowar, but I'm not the guy that I was.
Right.
In the 80s, you know what I'm saying? As far as being so, what's the word? Prolific.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I've slowed down too a little bit.
I mean,
but just the longer you do it.
I had 5 ideas. I didn't have 12 or 13, and so I said, "Boys, I need your help. Can you help me?" Everybody said, "We're helping. We're doing this." So Mark brought in 4. Mike had a bunch, and I borrowed one from. I used one from my other guitar player in Deathdealer. His name is Stu Marshall, and he wrote Maiden of Shadows. And hey, we got the record, and we worked on it, and we worked hard. Demos up, instead of pushing it out in the studio in a rehearsal studio. We didn't have time for that. I didn't have the budget, so we just did demos. We worked up the demos, and that's how this started. And the results have been so amazing.
Right.
You know, you heard it, right? I mean, it's just been.
It sounds
Yeah,
great.
it sounds great.
Yeah, it's a real natural sounding, but it's a huge modern production, mixed by C. Bleverman, Orden O'Gain from Germany, and you know, I couldn't be happy with the whole thing. So
Where'd you record?
we recorded the basic tracks in New Jersey at my friend C.J. Socha's studio. I think Acton, New Jersey.
Acton, baby, Jersey.
Yeah.
Where in Jersey?
I don't
You don't remember?
Jersey.
Jersey.
Somewhere.
Jersey's
Couple,
huge.
couple of tank shots out there, and
There's a lot of different jerseys.
yeah, Jersey, and we did satellite recording. I recorded a lot of my leads at my batting cage. I have my own room there, and
Batting cage?
yeah, babe,
That's what it's called?
it's the cage.
Or it's actually a legit batting cage?
It's a legit batting cage for 16 years already.
Fuck.
Middle Village,
does
Queens.
Does it work?
It freaking works, dude.
Do you swing at it?
You can swing there.
Do you?
I don't swing anymore. No.
No? Why not?
There's nothing left.
Nothing
I
left.
can't.
But with music, you like keep going and going and going.
Right.
How do you explain that?
Right.
Like, and also you got a sort of youthful exuberance about it. How do you explain it after all these years
Well-
to still be passionate like that?
Well, because I wake up every day and I'm a workaholic and I don't take any days off. If I'm not doing music, I'm at the cage, and I'm just working. I mean, and music is part of my life. It's been part of my life since I turned pro in '75 with the Dictators.
Right.
And it seems that all these different projects are coming back now. Now that the original Dictators are going to record again. You know, and my French band Shakin' Street, they're playing live.
Yeah, it's
and,
funny as hell.
And
isn't it?
Deathdealer is playing, and then the Roster Boss band is gonna blow up, you know, to the next level. So
Yeah.
you know, from constantly working and constantly doing good work,
Yeah.
I think you reap what you sow in life.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it's still going good. So listen, things might turn south. You never know.
It's just having a fucking dream at all, like having like, okay, Ross the Boss, we're gonna go to the next level. Just that energy to maintain that.
Yeah.
In this world with coronaviruses and Simpsons predictions and shit,
Well,
that's saying something.
Well, I
you
want to set an example for the young kids to say,
Yeah.
listen, if you're not willing to do what I am doing, if you're not willing to work as hard as I work
Right.
at this, then you're not going anywhere, man.
Yeah.
If you wake up at 12 o'clock, if you're one of these musicians that work at 12 o'clock and expect things to get done and you smoke a joint or something, your day's shot, buddy.
Right.
Your day is shot.
Yeah.
I'm up, I sleep like 3 hours because Germany, that's where my label is
Yeah.
6 hours ahead of me, right? So I have to I'm talking to them at 5 in the morning, it's still 11 o'clock.
Right.
So I'm like, I'm lying down, I'm up 3 hours, maybe a day, 4 hours sleeping, but you got to be up there. You got to be ready to and there's no taking time off.
No.
Especially everything is so competitive in the music world now because all the bands are out there touring, because people aren't really making the money out from the CDs that much anymore. So you got to be touring all the time and selling T-shirts and swag. But I'm like the kind of guy like, you're not going to beat me. There's just no way. It's just not going to happen.
What do you mean?
Well, you're not going to beat me because first of all, my band is amazing and they're great guys to play with, and we have a great thing live. And the band is known as Festival Killers, because we
you kill festivals.
We just destroy them. We just fucking destroy it.
What gave you this drive? Or did you get it from your parents? You think, or what?
Well, I mean, I just at one point after Manowar, I said after after a big band, and I was like asked to leave because he wanted all the money. I'm saying
The singer guy?
the bass player.
Oh, the bass
He
player?
said, I'm going, listen, I'm not going to let you win. I'm not going to let you win. Okay, I might not be in Manowar now, but I'm going to do my own thing. And so that set me on my way. I was in Manitoba's Wild Kingdom, the version of the Dictators, and then Brain Surgeons with Albert Bouchard from Blue Oyster Cult, and I had a blues rock band, and I had a band called The Pack, and then I had, the Spinatras, and then, we got signed, but I kept on going, and then, like around 91, my son came.
The Spinatras?
Spinatras, isn't that great?
Yeah, that's fucking good.
Yeah,
dude.
it's kind of like the Ramones. It was kind of like the Ramones meet Cheap Trick.
Yeah, okay.
Not a metal band.
Yeah.
And so I'm able to play a lot of different genres.
But what gave you the drive? Like that spirit of you're not going to beat me. Like, where did that drive come from? Like, what did your parents do?
My parents raised me to be, pretty hardworking, self-sufficient, and
Grew up in the Bronx.
I grew up in the Bronx.
Born in the Bronx.
And
is that where you grew up too?
Yeah.
And what did your folks do?
Well, my father was a furniture salesman, and my mother worked different things. She helped Retarded American Association, and she was very, giving of her time, and she did a lot of different things. And and they had a upholstery business, and they did what they did, But
do you have any siblings?
I have a sister.
You guys close?
Not really.
No.
Sid.
Yeah.
She lives in the West Coast, left coast, and
what's she end up doing?
Well, she was very successful. She worked for Sony. Her partner Leslie worked for what was that company? I don't know. She got a huge buyout for something, eBay.
Oh, really?
She was like one of the first. She's one of the first employees for eBay.
Fuck's sake.
Leslie got a huge buyout. Now they have money. Now they got fuck you money, and I'm glad for them.
Right.
But so.
And where do you live now?
I live in Rego Park, Queens.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you born and raised New Yorker?
I've been in New York all my life, and believe me,
Old school all the way.
Something tells me it's time to get out. But we have the business, we have the cage business, which is super successful now. That we have
so it's batting cages.
Batting cages. It's called the cage.
Okay, I thought you were naming your home studio the cage.
No.
It was a batting cage, but you have a legit batting cage business.
It's been 16 years, and
what's that called?
The Cage.
The Cage. Okay.
The Cage baseball. And
That's
we've been
amazing.
16 years, and now we have travel baseball. We have 11 Cage Warrior travel teams.
Wow.
11.
Just like competitive cage batting.
We have kids on a team.
That?
We have a team. We have teams that go play travel ball all over the country.
How'd you get into this?
Well, because my son Jesse turned out to be an amazing athlete. Had no musical talent,
right?
Like his dad, but he had amazing baseball talent. He was incredible. He became switch hitting college All-American catcher.
Wow! And are you a baseball player? Or
I wasn't given any athletic talent,
that's fucking
so
wild.
to speak of. It's amazing, right?
You're very amazing. And so you opened up a cage.
We opened up a batting cage for him because there was no place in Queens good enough to practice. And we said Queens players need.
Now that's like a loving and supportive thing to do, man.
Yeah, we opened up. It was.
That's
Believe me,
next level. Most people
Next
don't.
level dad.
That's like dad of the year type shit, dude.
my wife found the space.
That's crazy.
6240, and she goes, if I find the space, I'm going. We're going for this. I go, well, how much is it going to be? And she says, well, to change this building around, it's going to be about $250,000, which, of course, we didn't have. So we borrowed it. We did whatever we could. 16 years ago, we did the construction. Now we have the cage.
And it's maintained.
It's killer.
It's killer.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, because people want that. People don't want fancy place. They just want to go in. It's like Rocky, the gym. Mm-hmm. People want to. It's not bad. I mean, people want to go in. It's good lighting, safe. Nets are good. The machines work. Everything. I maintain everything, and so I mean, it's what it is.
Yeah.
And so I mean, today. We have a new net. I got to put up a new net. There's so much to do. Always lights to fix.
That says like a wild left turn.
You'd never figure it.
That you would.
You would never figure that.
No,
this guy.
Dude,
I know.
That's just a wild. Like, wait, what? It's still hard to get my head around it.
Do
but
people
it's
come
amazing.
in and do a double take, and it's like, is that fucking Ross the Boss?
Yeah, I got Manowar fans and Dictator fans and all these rock fans.
You got to make Ross the Boss like baseball bats.
Yeah, it's like
that'd be a good merch item.
So I mean, it's a great thing. It's a great business because I like sports. I love baseball. I love the game of baseball.
I like boxing.
You like boxing?
Yeah.
Heavyweight boxing?
Yeah, I saw I like it all. I just like boxing, straight up.
You like guys knocking like.
No, I don't. I just I started doing it, so it's interesting to me. It's a very similar way that the guitar is interesting to me. Like it's
squared.
You
circle.
practice and it's like it's just technique and it's all this stuff.
Oh yeah.
You know, so it's fun to observe. So how did you get into, like, what was your entree into music? How did you start?
Well, so, you know, when I was really young, growing up in the Bronx, my grandmother played piano.
Oh, right.
She sang opera.
And you started with viola, didn't you?
I started with piano.
Oh, okay.
So my grandmother was a pianist and beautiful voice. My uncle, my father's brother, was an opera singer. I studied a Scala. You know, my parents didn't have any musical talent, so to speak, but it was in my family. So I played. So they started me on piano, like when I was like 6 or 7, and like they told my parents that this kid has musical aptitude like you wouldn't believe. They said you should.
Oh, really?
You should let this kid keep playing. So I had this great teacher. Here's crazy things. I had this great guy teacher, right? I forgot his name. He was teaching me. I knew both clefs. I was playing, you know, both hands, you know, reading, sight reading, you know, like, wow, you know. And then loving it. Then he leaves. He moves on for another school or something. Wow. He had something else to do.
Broke
and
your heart.
He did. He broke my heart. And then they gave me this other lady.
Fuck the piano.
Yeah, they gave me this other lady who I just couldn't relate to her.
Yeah.
I just couldn't relate to her.
So you got a good first teacher.
So I had a good first teacher. Then I stopped playing. I stopped playing piano, which was the worst mistake I probably ever made. And then in junior high school, I joined the orchestra. I didn't know how to play anything. So they said, "How about violin?" I go, "Okay." So give me the violin. So I started in the back of the orchestra, and in about 3 weeks, I was like number one violin or number 2. I just, you know, it was like, whoop.
That's amazing.
Killing it.
What's your grandma's name?
Edith.
Edith?
Edith Gottman.
That's funny.
Yeah.
My grandma's name is
She's
Enid.
Yeah?
She's passed, but it was Enid, and the other one was Ethel.
Yeah.
Funny.
So yeah. So I advanced quickly on the violin, but then I had noticed that all the guys that were getting girls or any attention, it was rock and roll.
We're not playing violin.
Yeah, no, it's like, you know, like Jerry LaFlamme from, you know, from Mayor Vishnu or something
Right.
like that.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
guy.
Jean-Luc Ponty.
You know?
Yeah.
So, you know, I was like, I'm seeing like the Beatles and the Stones and you know, and
You
it's
put
like,
one and one together.
I'm like, it's like, you know,
Yeah, no,
I'm like,
not working.
you know, I'm like saying to myself.
So you went and got a guitar.
So I said, Grandma. I said, the same grandmother that you said, Edith.
No, Edith.
Grandma,
Mine's Edith.
Grandma Gottman, would you please? Can I get a guitar? So she said, you want a guitar, Ross? He goes, yes, let's go get a
What kind
guitar.
did you get?
I got an acoustic guitar.
Oh, okay.
She went down to Palumbo Music on
She's
Gun
a
Hill
hero.
Road. Oh, she's the best. We
Man.
walked down to Palumbo Music together, and that's how much she loved me. And
That's
then
funny.
and then
How far was the walk?
It was a bit. It was, you know, because we had
miles.
5 blocks to White Plains Road, and then White Plains, and then like 5 blocks after. It was a nice walk. So we
and
went.
how old were you there?
I must have been
13?
14, something like that.
Right.
So we got the guitar, and then I started learning. Teaching myself how to play, and then I went and got an electric guitar, not a very expensive one, and then I started really playing. And then my father goes, "Why don't you take lessons?" I go, "Okay." I say, "Take some lessons." So take some lessons, and in 4 weeks, I was better than my teacher.
Where did you get that?
I don't know.
Come on, you know where you got that drive. Where'd you get that drive?
I just wanted to play.
Girls.
Girls.
But like what?
I wanted to play.
What makes you want to excel though? There's people that want to play, and then there's people that want to excel.
Well,
and
right.
you're definitely of the latter.
Well, you saw like, you know, Peter Townsend.
Right.
You know, I said, I want to be like him.
Right.
I want to be like that guy. You know, so George Harrison, I want to be like that guy. You know, Brian Jones, I want to be like that guy. Keith Richards, I want to be like that guy. John Densmore at the door, I want to be like that guy. You know, 67 was, you know, that time in music was just rock and roll was freaking exploding.
Yeah, but you did it also with piano and violin.
Right.
And,
So I had
a batting cage.
that was later.
And, yeah, but it's the same.
I took music very seriously, and especially rock and roll, and blues music was my passion. So I consider
Like
myself.
who?
Oh, B.B. King is my idol.
Right.
I mean, I've been saying that all my life.
Apparently, he used like gauge 7 strings on his guitar, like really thin strings.
Yeah?
That's what I heard. And like Stevie Ray Vaughan uses 13s. I don't
He
know,
likes tree
14s.
trunks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's an aside. But so B.B. King, huh?
Oh, I love him.
How do you go from blues? It was Dictators your second band. So
For-
Well, the Dictators was the first recording band.
And what year was that?
70. We got discovered in late 73. We got Sandy Perlman, the Blue Oyster Cult manager, brought us to New York.
Yeah.
We did our demos for CBS and we got signed. And the first record, The Dictators Go Girl Crazy, came out 1975.
And yeah, how did you get from the blues to the Dictators?
Well, I mean, I was always a very heavy guitar player. I mean, I had friends. We were up in Newport College in New York.
Upstate.
Yeah, my first band, and we were like a party band, and then I met this guy Andy Chernoff, and we decided to form the Dictators. I don't know whether
Was there punk going around at the time?
There was no such thing as punk.
You guys invented it? Or
Well,
helped
sort
them
of,
invent
yeah. There was no such thing. They didn't call it punk rock yet.
Mm.
I mean, because we admired bands like, at the same time, we admired bands like the Flamin' Groovies and MC5,
Stooges.
the Stooges, of course, and then, of course, the Who, the Beach Boys, Black Sabbath when they started in '70. So, I mean, I had all my influences still: Led Zeppelin, Jimi Hendrix.
You're still rock based.
I feel like the
Yeah.
Stooges were the first punk rock band.
They were great.
Yeah. I mean, they seem to influence like
Oh, forget it.
everybody.
Oh, of course.
And then they seem to be influenced by the Doors.
They were influenced by
degree.
a lot of things. Yeah. Easy Beats, a lot of bands.
So what was it like starting the Dictators in 1975, did you say?
Well,
like
it came out in
CBGBs
75.
or what? Was it?
CBGBs didn't start going until 77.
Okay.
Well, it started in like late 76 when Patti Smith discovered it with Tom Verlaine, and then they started playing there, and it was just like basically a shithole.
Oh, right.
Yeah, the dog, you have to walk.
Did that ever change?
Well, they started cleaning the
really.
shit
Yeah.
off the floors, but I mean,
Right.
it was our shithole though.
Were you
Yeah.
going there in the before you were playing there?
No. The Dictators, we started playing, we would play the Coventry in Sunnyside, Queens. We played with the Dolls. We played with the Brats. We played with a lot of Harlots of 42nd Street. There was a lot of bands there at the time. Kiss was starting Kiss was starting.
Did you know them?
I didn't know. We didn't know them. But there were 3 bands. We knew at one point that there were 3 bands that had record contracts in New York City. It was the Kiss, the Dolls, and the Dictators. So it was a pretty wild time, and then that's...
Were you all doing the club scenes?
Yeah.
All 3 bands?
Yeah.
So did you cross paths with Kiss at the time?
We didn't cross paths with Kiss. They had played the Coventry. We didn't play with them, but we played with the New York Dolls at the same time in the same room. It was amazing. If I could have gone back in time with that, how much could we have charged for that show? That Dolls were on one side, one stage, and the Dictators were on the other. That was crazy. It was nuts.
What about the Ramones?
The Ramones came a year later.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
So they
they-
were like a baby band in a way.
Yeah, they came a year later, '76, their first record, and they did California Sun just like we did on our first record.
Oh, that's interesting.
It's very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they were inspired, you think?
I don't know.
How long did the Dictators survive for?
Well, we did 3 records,
Yeah.
3 major releases. Then we took a hiatus, and then that's when I joined Shakin' Street from France, and then I found myself opening up for Black Sabbath, my heroes in England.
That's
and,
crazy.
And Ronnie James Dio introduces me to
Right.
Joey DeMeo, and then we decide to form Manowar.
That's wild.
So I go from, Dictators to Manowar. I mean, it's just like, people, how could you have done that? I mean, I don't know. It's just, I did it. It seemed to be like the thing to do.
What do you mean, like, just like how does that operate, like, or how do you manifest that kind of thing, or what?
Well, people consider that the Dictators and Manowar are so different. It's
Right.
completely different genre, completely different mindset.
Do you think it's that different, or do you think it's all just rock and roll?
Well, I thought it was all rock and roll, but
Yeah, me too. Like that, the different genres confuse me. Like,
I hate it.
I don't even get it. Like
especially in metal, it's
yeah,
horrible.
especially metal.
Oh,
Like this is speed metal. This is thrash.
No,
this
no,
is,
no.
It's like what?
Acoustic Viking. Progressive.
We had John Schaefer in here from Ice
Yeah.
to Earth.
Did you?
And he
Yeah.
was like, I don't like
And he
any
doesn't.
definition.
And he didn't like
No.
the definitions either. So I'm like, okay, if these guys don't like the definitions, then fuck the definitions.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
to me, it's just rock and roll. As a kid going to the Fillmore, growing up there, I mean, all I saw was bands. I mean, like Frank Zappa would play with Youngbloods and with all these different bands. It didn't matter, The blues artist would play with a rock
They were
band. It's just the same. It's music.
Did you ever spend any time out in L.A.?
Nah.
No, because there was somebody from the Dictators that I met out in L.A.
Well, Scott lives out
a
there.
long time ago.
Yeah.
When I was making my second record and I was like dealing with like some addiction issues, and there's somebody from the Dictators that was in the program and took me to a meeting.
Who, Manitoba?
I don't know. I can't remember. It was like in the 90s.
Really?
It was a long time ago. Yeah, so I was wondering if that was you, but I guess it wasn't you.
I never had a problem.
Like the guy came and picked me up at the studio.
Really?
Yeah, in his car, and we went.
Oh, good.
Yeah, he was a nice guy.
You don't remember his name?
I can't remember. It was like 90s.
Worst
Long time ago.
Worst decade for rock and roll ever.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. So how long did you tour with the Dictators then, or did you guys tour?
Oh, we toured a lot.
Like for what? 3 years?
No, we
More?
just toured from 75 till 77 to 78, 75 to 78.
And what, in a van or a bus? or what?
All over. We toured, we
but
went everywhere.
What did you tour in? A van?
Vans usually,
Vans?
cars, We did a lot of tours with Blue Oyster Cult and the bigger bands because we had the same booking agency. So they figured they're going to throw us out on the big stage and it's going to stick.
Yeah.
And a lot, some people, it was like, fuck you. And
Yeah.
a lot of times people like, oh, this is great. And a lot of times, fuck you.
Don't you love that?
Oh, I love it. Played with ZZ Top.
I'm getting ready to go tour and be an opening band for 2.5 months.
Yeah?
Yeah, opening for Greg Dooley.
Oh.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that whole, like, when you're opening for somebody.
They don't know you.
Sometimes it's like it can be rough.
That could be rough.
You know?
AC/DC opened up for the Dictators.
That's right. At the Palladium.
That's crazy.
AC/DC and Michael Stanley Band, it was like.
Fucking Michael Stanley Band, Cleveland, Ohio.
Yeah, baby.
I'm from Ohio. I'm from Akron.
That's good.
That's so funny.
I said, what are these guys doing? What are these guys doing on this show? But that was back then. They packaged up bands. They throw everyone on.
Yeah.
But AC/DC opened up for the band. The best. They were the friendliest, nicest guys.
Yeah.
Then they pack themselves up and they go to CBGBs and play a show.
That's funny.
It's a legendary. They write about it in their history in their blog.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And so, were you making a living with the Dictators at that time?
Yeah. I mean,
you guys-
we were on salary.
So you guys
Sandy
didn't need a day job or anything. like that.
Not back then.
No.
I was luckily things weren't that expensive, and
Right.
we were able to survive on what they were paying us,
Huh.
which wasn't a lot. But
It was Epic Records, right?
Yeah.
Epic Records,
Major deal.
major deal. But we had a production deal with Sandy and Murray, so they were kind of like they were paying the bills.
What do you think made a major label take a chance on a band like the Dictators back then? Was that was
Punk rock was happening.
No, it wasn't. Not in
it was-
75.
No.
Oh,
So
no.
how? What?
I have no
what?
idea.
Who in Epic said, "Hey, I want to sign these guys"?
Well, Murray Krugman, working for he had done stuff with Johnny Winter and Blue Oyster Cult. So Blue Oyster Cult was the baby, and they were starting to break a little bit. So they had some clout. Sandy had some clout with CBS. So one of the guys from CBS was a huge wrestling fan, and of course we had the image of the band was Handsome Dick Manitoba, who's a good wrestler. I mean, this guy is. What does that have to do with anything? It's like
Handsome
what?
Dick Manitoba.
Yeah, what does that have to do with rock and roll? I didn't know, but so, all right, so here we are.
Everything.
Yeah,
You just didn't know it yet.
yeah, we didn't know it. We found
That
out.
was
But,
everything.
Handsome
So-
Dick Manitoba was ahead of
So I
his
think
time.
I think his
I
name
just
was-
like saying Handsome Dick Manitoba.
I know. I think it's Canada's
Sounds like a porn star.
Canada's greatest athlete.
That's funny.
So the guy signed this. Mike Kleffner, I think, was his, and somehow he was influenced to sign us. I don't know how or why, but Sandy would always point out. But look at their guitar player. He's amazing. He's as good as Buck Dharma. Listen to that guy play, and it was always that I was there, and I know, and you can like, look, that guy can fucking rip on you like a mad dog, you know. And it's like, look how great he, you know. So that, I guess, I'm not gonna toot my own horn, but that was, you know,
Toot your horn, man.
yeah. But that's what it was, I guess, back then. But we survived, and we changed our image, and we changed the members of the group, so we didn't have a real cohesive image like the Ramones had, and
You're still considered, pioneers.
Yeah.
I know we don't want to label it of punk.
yeah. No, the thing is like when it first came out, people looked at us like we were a bunch of assholes. We were really a bunch of assholes. Who are these guys? You know, and then a few people got it, right? And then we got a horrible review in Rolling Stone.
How many stars?
Oh, I don't know what it was. Robert Christgau gave us a horrible, and we were shattered. We were like destroyed, man. And then it turns out after a couple of years, he recanted and rewrote and took back his review and wrote an amazing review of it.
Really?
Yeah. So it was like the first time that ever happened. And
That's
like
crazy.
And then all of a sudden, people are like, "This is amazing." And then
My bad. That was wrong.
so it came around a couple of years ago. The Uncut magazine from the UK. You know that magazine?
Yeah, I know that
It's
magazine.
a fantastic magazine, right?
Can be. Sometimes they review my albums well. Other times, not so much. So, I don't know.
Did they recant any of them?
They
So,
need to do
all
some
of a sudden-
recanting, man. Fuck them.
Scott sends me something, and it's like it's the #1 U.S. punk record of all time.
The first Dictators.
The
album.
first Dictators record. And
Wow.
I'm like, I have it here somewhere. I'm like floored. I'm going, you know what? We knew that. It was just a matter of time. We knew that. No, honestly, but
That's amazing.
yeah,
dude.
the how things change.
Congratulations. Yeah. That's cool. Time does some interesting shit.
And now the record is hanging in the punk rock Hall of Fame.
And you
punk
just
rock
got in
exhibition.
some heavy metal Hall of Fame
Yeah,
too, right?
I was voted in the first class in 2016.
With Dio.
Right.
That's with Ronnie Dio.
Fucking love Ronnie James
The Metal
Dio.
Hall. They call it the Hall of Heavy Metal History, but they changed it to the Metal Hall, which is much better.
Yeah.
And
So-
now it's a big thing. Now it's like on the map, huge.
where is that?
We don't have a building yet.
Oh, it's no building. Okay.
We're thinking,
Theory.
in theory. So, but
it's in our minds.
It's in our minds, in our hearts.
The legend.
More importantly, it's in our hearts.
It's in our minds.
How long between the Dictators and Manowar then?
I would have to say 4 years.
And what'd you do?
Well, I was in Shakin' Street.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
In France.
I was in France.
Oh, okay. And so you lived in France.
I lived in France for about a year, 2 years.
Where in
And
France?
Paris.
What do you do? You speak French?
Un petit peu.
Un petit peu.
We just went through the shit. Si
Un
pas poussé.
un petit peu. Je m'appelle
Je m'appelle Ali.
Ross Labos.
All I had to know is Je t'aime chérie.
And what's that mean?
I love you, my dear.
Yeah, exactly. So you enjoyed those years.
How did you end up in that band?
Well, because Sandy Perlman, our manager.
I love France, by the way. Anyway, go.
Yeah, well, it was. So Sandy Perlman went to Paris, and he discovered Shakin' Street, who was also on CBS France. So Sandy had a huge thing with CBS because BOC had blown up on it. So he had produced The Clash, and he produced all these other. He was a great, BOC, producer and everything, and manager. And then so Fabienne Shine, the singer, went to Sandy. Would you help? Blah blah blah. And Sandy was very interested. She completely got him, boy, because she was so smokingly hot, beautiful. She still is. And so
Is she on Instagram?
you should.
She was a legit model back
She
then.
a legit model, and she was going out with Jimmy Page, and So she goes to Sandy. Sandy, we don't have a guitar player. Our guitar player sold his guitar for heroin. Serious.
So many of them do.
I know. I go. So Sandy goes. I have the guy for you. He's sitting home right now.
Ross Lebar.
Yeah. He goes. You ever hear of the band called the Dictators? Of course. I mean, he goes. He's sitting home. He wants something to do.
Have you ever heard of the Dictators? Bah oui.
Mon Dieu.
Bah oui.
Mon Dieu. So yeah. So next day I was in Paris.
And you joined them as just a guitar player? You wrote with them? Or?
Yeah, just guitar. They needed a guitar player, so I played for. I think my audition was about 6 seconds.
Did you tour in France?
Yeah.
I've done a lot of touring in France.
You know how many shows? You know how many
shit
shows?
Is fun, dude.
You know how many shows we played in
How
France?
many?
Like 48.
Yeah. I can.
I couldn't
relate to
even
that.
know. I couldn't even believe that there were
Yeah.
that many places to play
In
there.
30 days?
I've done like 26 city tours in France myself. Yeah, there's so many little cities and stuff.
places, yeah.
And they're amazing. And everywhere you go, there's like cheese plates that will blow your mind.
And we were living on
No, but for real though, dude. Like
living on hard bread
and cheese
and sausage
and wine.
and having no bowel movements for 7 days.
Exactly. You can no longer
And then-
use go number 2.
And the first time I went there,
for real.
the first time I was there with the Dictators, but I really had no recollection. But in the Shaker Street, I went to we were playing this big place, and I went to the bathroom, and the bathroom was a hole in the ground.
Oh yeah, those old European
like-
ones. They forget about the toilet. They're just like, you know what?
Le
Fuck it.
toilet.
Let's
Just
just dig
keep
a
the
hole.
hole in the ground.
Is that
Fuck
like
it.
from the castles?
I think you're meant to squat.
Yeah.
Like the proper squatting technique.
I think that's where perfume
That's
came
from
from
before
too.
plumbing.
But that's like my whole rock and roll life was based around France. But so you toured with them for a year and you were with them for a few years. And
Yeah, I
then
made
Manowar
friends. I
started.
made friends with Trust and Telephone with all the bands. Very dear friends, and
I like French audiences. They're more passionate.
I like all audiences, man.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Shout out all audiences.
I love you all.
And then
I
a call
love you
comes in
all.
and it's like you're opening up for Black Sabbath. Just
Well,
like
then
that.
we were in the States on the Black and Blue tour.
Yeah.
And then we find ourselves in England opening up for Black Sabbath. And then
Where?
all over Nottingham,
Oh, okay.
City Hall,
Proper tour.
Manchester, City Hall, really Black Sabbath. I mean,
Were
come
they
on.
doing Mob Rules?
No.
Heaven and
and Hell.
Oh, Heaven and Hell.
So it was his first tour there. So he comes up to me, this guy, right after our sound check. He goes, "Hi, Ross." I go, "Hi, Ronnie. Hi." And, it's like, I'm like, "Why are you?" This guy talking to me. He goes, "I want to tell you, I really love the way you play guitar. I love the Dictators.
Amazing.
I love all the New York rock. This is the sweetest guy in the world.
Yeah, I heard
coming
that.
up to me and like talking and being so lovely to me." And he goes, "By the way, I have my friend, one of our guys on our crew, play bass, like you've never seen before."
Wow.
And he came up to me and goes, "You should check him out." I go, "Yes, sir."
Mm-hmm.
Whatever you say. Okay. So, so it was like just one of those things. It was meant to be. So I put my stuff down, put my guitar down, get ready. The shows, the sound check. So the show's like in an hour and a half doors. And I went and sought Joey out, and I started talking to him and became friends. And it's a legendary story how Manowar started. So,
Through Ronnie James Dio.
Ronnie James Dio, as great as he was, with all sorts of things that he'd done, he's responsible for Manowar.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it wasn't for him. Who knows if I would ever met him?
And so what year did that start?
That had to be 1980.
Okay, so we're just landing in the
79,
80s,
yeah.
1980s.
So my last show was Aloha Stadium with Molly Hatchet and Black Sabbath, and it was Vinny Appice's first show with Black Sabbath. Mm-hmm. It was a crazy thing. So Tony was all nervous because it was the first new drummer he's ever played with in his life. It was a great show. So that was going to be my last show. Joey and I was going to fly back to New York. Everyone's into my house in Mount Vernon, and we're going to start the band. I didn't want to screw Shakin' Street up because I love them. So one of our friends, we recommended one of our friends to replace me. We got permission. We did it nice, and we started writing songs.
For Manowar.
Yeah.
How would you come up with the songs? You come up with the riffs?
I started doing riffs.
How do you come up with riffs?
It's in your head.
What do you mean?
Well, the music's in your head. You think of it. I think of riffs when I'm walking around. I can think of a riff.
Okay.
You know, I can think of.
So you don't have to have the guitar. To
Not
think of
necessarily, but sometimes when you're bashing it out on guitar, things happen. You know, the ideas fly.
riffs. Right.
You
That's
know.
how it happens for me a lot.
Yeah. So you know, wherever the inspiration comes from, sometimes you have to rob something or borrow something, or you know, I never did that. No. But
Great artist steal.
of course, and but you know, those riffs come, and you know, so you know, I
So you
started writing songs.
and
Yeah.
Did you write the lyrics too?
No.
No.
The one thing I never do is write lyrics, and if I did, I would have rather been writing the lyrics as well.
Melody?
Huh?
Melody or
Oh, I do melodies.
Melodies.
And song titles, and you know, influencing things, and you know, like the first Manowar album was called Battle Hymns, and so like a song called Death Tone, I wrote that song, wrote the music, and you know, it's the sound of bikers. You know, like when you hear like that, when you hear the like 100 bikes, that's the death tone.
So Manowar took off pretty good though, right?
Well, it was rough.
Yeah.
It was rough in the beginning because no one
Okay.
understood. No one really understood us in America. We had my friend from EMI, Bob Curry, signed the band, and no one else was going to sign Manowar. Then no fucking way, because we wanted a ton of money. We wanted to buy a ton of gear. We would be the loudest band in the world, and we did it. And Curry did it. Curry was able to, excuse me. Curry was able to. We got I don't know like 150 grand
Damn.
back then in '81. It was a
Yeah.
lot of money.
And did you guys tour like on a bus and everything?
Well,
like that,
then we got Bill O'Coin to manage the band, the Kiss manager, and he's just all about just go out and spend money. You know, it's like, well, we can't do that. They put us out on the road with Ted Nugent in Texas.
opening for Ted Nugent?
Yeah, and we had a semi worth of freaking equipment. I
So-
go, we can't have a semi, and Ted's gear was like this, and our gear was like this. How long do you think we're going to stay on this tour? 2 shows.
Right.
He kicked you off.
kicked you off.
And we was smoking. And Ted comes to me and, hey, guy, we're also going to be a lean, mean rock and roll machine going to make it through 1982. A lean, mean rock and roll machine going to make a new, and I love Ted Nugent. I love the guy.
Yeah.
Love his guitar playing. And so we weren't long on that tour. So then EMI dropped us. And
Wait,
then
he was saying a lean, mean rock
it's
and
going
roll.
to take a lean, mean rock and roll machine to get through 1982.
Dude, that's the greatest line I've ever heard. It's going to take a lean, mean rock and roll machine to get through 1982. Somebody needs to make that a T-shirt.
I'll never
right
forget that.
away.
Ted Nugent
That's
telling
so
me that.
fucking funny. And what do you mean? Like, get rid of all your extra gear?
Yeah,
Or
I mean, get rid of us.
get rid of
I got to cut corners here. You mean you
Right.
got to cut your competition here?
Yeah.
But no, it's expected. You know, he had Pat Travers' group opening up as well, so
So did you guys find success eventually? Like,
did.
Yeah, because you guys became legendary. So.
we went to Europe and had to
Yeah.
come in Europe, and we didn't do enough touring in the United States. We should have had a small truck, and when the buzz was on for Manowar,
Yeah.
I mean, really on, we should have been touring
it.
every little metal place in the United
Yeah.
States, like all the other bands were doing, and we didn't.
But you
Because Joey wanted all the big gear, and he wanted the big
so
show.
it always had to be huge all the
Yeah,
time.
and very few
Yeah.
shows. We were playing L'Amour's all the time in
Yeah,
Brooklyn.
you need to figure out a stealth way to go.
That's true.
Go about
You're
it.
absolutely right.
And be prepared to go big. Sometimes.
Well, we could. We did.
But,
Well-
but go back and forth.
Well, that's the thing, and Manowar missed a huge opportunity, sadly, and we relinquished the United States, in my opinion, to the other bands, to Megadeth, to Metallica.
right.
Was that the competition you felt?
Yeah. Well, testament to all those bands at the time. Sure.
Yeah.
I produced Anthrax. I helped
Right.
them.
You produced the first demo, right?
Yes. Is this
yeah.
to me?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
for-
Yeah. Thank you.
You-
Yeah.
Yeah.
You sort of broke them, got them signed.
Yeah, they couldn't
Yeah,
get
it's a-
signed until you produced.
that
So Johnny
true?
Z. Yeah.
yeah,
yeah.
That's
So
true.
finally, they were hunting Johnny Z, and in all the truck stops in New Jersey, just hunting him down and just Scott, come on, sign me. So finally he goes, you should get Ross to produce a demo.
Yeah.
So I produced 2 songs, and the one song, Soldiers of Metal, that's what cinched it.
Right.
So they signed to Megaforce.
Yeah. Did you produce anyone else?
I produced a band called Black Lace. a band with a lovely lady, Marianne Scandifio, and who the box set's just coming out. My friend Bart's putting it out.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's early in your career. What made you? Was that the first time you produced? What made
Yeah.
you decide, though, I'll be a producer?
Well, I had a lot of knowledge already because I had done 5 records at the time, and people just trusted me.
So how many albums did you make with Manowar? 6, right?
Yeah.
And then what happened with that? Did it go big ever, or did you?
Well,
guys...
yeah. Well, the thing is the band was building and building and building in Europe, and so the final record that I played on, Kings of Metal, we knew that record was just going to go. It's just we were gonna tear Europe open like a tuna can.
How'd you know that? Because it was good.
It was very good, and I it was like so. But of course, Joey DeMeo thought it was the right time to
kick you out.
Yeah.
Why?
Take
ego.
Listen. To say that I was getting along 100% with him all the time, no, because
nobody does.
Nobody gets along that, but he doesn't want. He never wanted any
conflict
with anything. It's just him and his decision on the band. Blah 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 blah. So it was probably the right time to jettison his partner, which is sad because the Kings of Metal tour could have been unbelievable.
How many years were you together at that point?
6,
7. And it just reached a boiling point, I guess. Yeah.
And I didn't start. Actually, didn't start music to be unhappy.
Right.
In my life, so it was like am I gonna fight this guy? Looking back on it, I should have just. I ain't going.
But who was the face of the band, like, back then? Was it you or him? Like, if you left and you started your own Manowar, like, was that ever an option?
I think that the singer, Eric Adams, was
the face of it.
Probably one of the greatest singers in metal ever.
Right.
And
what did you get feedback from fans back then?
Oh, yeah. There was a lot of...
a lot of fans jumped ship?
Still to this day. Well, because I didn't really start a metal band right after that.
What'd you do?
I did Manitoba's Wild Kingdom.
Which is what?
Which is the Dictators minus one guitar player.
Oh, okay.
Which is me.
So you went back to punk.
No, this was more...
Hardcore?
Hard metal, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Not to label it.
We had that song, The Party Starts Now.
Mm-hmm.
You might have heard it.
How's it go?
Stop that whining. If you had a bad day, if you lost some weight, you might get laid.
That's a classic.
Oh, instant.
Before we leave Manowar, you were known for the outfit. I'm just like, who came up?
I knew that was going to come.
Who came up with that?
Our look?
I mean, the Conan the Barbarian look.
Well, okay, all right. So
you don't have to answer. I'm just curious,
no.
In my mind, Manowar, I always go to those album covers that were just
cheesy.
But
the one
made an impact.
Into Glory ride was cheesy, I thought.
Yeah.
But I had always my pants on. But I accept it. But the look of the band came from the fact that back then, all you saw from the metal world was denim, leather, and studs. Black leather and studs. So how could we stand out amongst the rest of the bands and make an impact? Well, what's crazier and wilder than that? Has to be Animal Furs, right?
Was it your idea? It was like a band decision.
I thought of a lot. Joey and I thought of a lot of things together. So we got to make ourselves look fucking insane. At one point. So we got the original outfits. I thought looked very very good on the first record. If you see those pictures.
Yeah.
But then. We on the second one we changed the look, and then we had to get new outfits. We had no money, so everything was done on very cheap. So that's when I thought it kind of looked a little.
That's when you regretted the decision.
Well, with the bikini and the chaps and the all that stuff.
But you were committed to touring and playing like that.
Yeah, we had to look like that.
Yeah.
So I thought that's
like a big decision.
The Into Glory ride look was a little cheesy,
right.
but. it was effective, and I know that our female fans really appreciated it
Why?
because we were half naked.
Oh, okay. You think they like that?
Yeah. Back then, yeah.
It was the 80s.
Oh, it was crazy.
What was it like then compared to now? The music business.
Oh, it was so much better.
It was?
Ugh.
Why?
Well, because bands actually were selling records.
Yeah.
You know, you're actually selling millions and millions of records.
Yeah, making money.
Yeah.
Did you guys make money? Did all right.
Okay. It wasn't the giant paycheck, but
Right.
it was, you know. But
Yeah.
but then it was crazy.
But it's freer now, though, don't you think? In terms of just you don't.
What's
like,
freer?
Just creativity seems freer because then it was like, you know, you were you had to get aligned to a record company machine and all this other stuff. Now you can kind of be more independent.
Well, you can do everything yourself.
Yeah.
You know, including distribution. The thing about it is, and the streaming and all that other crapola.
Mm-hmm.
The thing then was the imagery of the band. You had to have a certain image, and especially when glam things went crazy in L.A., you had to have this look.
Like Motley Crue and all that.
You had to be skinny as fuck.
Yeah.
You know, and I was never that skinny. I was pretty skinny at one point, but I was like, you know, I ain't looking like that. I ain't dressing up in my mommy's clothing either.
Right.
So, but you know, everything was pigeonholed. You had to have this certain look. You had to have the image. You had to have this. You had to have that. But it was crazy. The 80s was crazy.
Yeah. So as did they re-record some of the old classic albums?
Yeah.
Why'd they do that?
They had nothing else to do.
No, it was just like fucking around.
I don't know. Why would they do it? I don't know. I
don't understand
just to
going
spite
into
me.
the past like
Maybe
that.
to spite me.
You think so?
Yeah.
So there's bad blood there.
I wouldn't doubt it. I don't know why. Well, just to give them something to do. Why would you re-record a classic record?
Yeah, it doesn't make
Why?
sense to me either. I don't get that.
No. Why? It's done. You ain't making it any better.
Right. Just make a new thing.
It was always something. I don't know. Maybe it's just money. I don't know. There's just no reason to record battle hymns. There's no reason to re-record Kings of Metal. There's no, you know. I don't know. That's my thing, but who knows? I'm not in control.
So Ross the Boss is like, when did that form?
So we started. I started to come back to Europe around, let's see, 2005. Okay, there was the Earthshaker Festival. That was all Manowar members on stage. That's when everyone was still talking, I guess. So we were all
original?
All original, you know. And so it was all lineups to there. I did like a couple of songs, and people flipped out that I was there. And then I got calls from promoters. Would you like to play? Would you come play a set of early Manowar stuff? Would you? You know, I said, but I don't have a band. They go, well, we have a tape of this band. They're called Manowar, and they did a covers, and they sent me the band. I thought it was
tribute to Manowar.
Yeah, I thought I was listening to the old records because I had been.
They were that good.
Well, I hadn't been listening to the records. I said, well, that sounds good, you know. So I said, okay, so let's do it. So my first appearance at the Keep It True Festival in Germany, which is a very, very amazing festival. Keep It True, it's called. And our first appearance, I got the German band, and we rehearsed and we played Keep It True, and it was good. We did very well. And then I said, well, guys, do you want to make a demo? So he said, let's do a demo. So I had some ideas, so we did a demo, and then I gave it to my friend Ollie Weinsheimer, who's the promoter of Keep It True. Gave it to AFM, and he goes, they want to sign you. So, here we go again. So I got signed to AFM, and we put out the first record, New Metal Leader, it's called, and we put it out in 2008.
And that's you with the Manowar.
Yes, it became Ross the Boss band, right?
That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's so fucking
because
funny.
you guys want to be, you want to do this?
They landed the jackpot.
So yeah,
They did.
They manifested
went
him.
from a tribute band to like the new band.
Right. And that's what they did. And they were really cool guys. They're really good.
Yeah, that's manifestation.
Yeah, they manifested Ross.
Yeah, they manifested Ross.
So, but the thing is, I had a European band now, and so we did another record called Hailstorm in 2010, and then I kind of felt that I wanted an American band, and it was nothing against them. They were great guys, great friends to this day. So I said, guys, I'm not gonna go for the next record. I want to change things, and then I stopped playing Ross the Boss in 2010. So I went to my friend's, this guy Sean Peck. He called me up, and he goes, I want you to be in my band. It's either you or KK Downing. I go, okay, what's the name of the band? He goes, well, we're going to call it Deathdealer. So, okay, send me some songs. I didn't know who this guy was. So he was a vocalist in this band called Cage, another band, Cage. So I liked it. And the guitar player, Stu Marshall, who I mentioned, he's from Australia. And then so I joined on to Deathdealer as a guitar player. I didn't have to do anything. I just be the guitar player, which I liked.
Right.
To this day. So we did the first record, and then we did the second record for Sweden music label, and now we have a third record done. It's coming out
So
in the
this
summer.
is a side band you're still keeping.
I'm still in. Yeah,
Wow.
I'm very good friends.
I didn't know
And
that.
Stu wrote the song "Maiden of Shadows" of that video.
Oh, okay. Now I
So
now
we
I
have a
get it.
real close
Got
relationship
it.
with everybody, and
Should do a double bill.
Well, because of Deathdealer, we have my drummer Steve Bolognese is in Deathdealer, and my guitar player, my bass player Mike LaPon, played on the last record. So we have the three of us are in Deathdealer minus, so it's 3 out of 5 Deathdealer or Ross the Boss band.
And then how did the recent Ross the Boss lineup form?
Okay, so then it went on with Deathdealer, and then Ollie goes, do you know this singer Mike Katoya? This singer is the closest thing to Eric Adams I've ever heard in my life. You know Mike Katoya? I go, yeah, he lives in my neighborhood. He's a kid, lives in my neighborhood. He's my nephew's best friend. He goes, would you want to play? And because you got to play a set of old Manowar because people are jonesing because Manowar is just pissing everyone off. Come to play again. I go, come to the festival again. I go, okay. So I put the band together. My nephew on drums, Lance Bornwald, and Mike Katoya vocals, and then we got this guy Kevin on bass. And then we did Keep It. It was a surprise at the Keep It True Festival. It was a surprise guest. So I kept in. No one knew my band. No one knew the guys, the kids. But I kept in like a sweatshirt and my hoodie the whole time at the Keep It True. Like backstage, I was walking around. No one knew it. And who's the special guest? Who is he? Who's the special guest? And no one knew. And so our time to play. I get on stage. I'm still covered up. Plug in. And then I take my sweatshirt off and my back to the audience, and I turn around and I go, "It's fucking Ross!" And then, then we lit into the. It was the biggest surprise, the best kept secret ever. Actually, a great secret, and we blew the place apart. And then, after that, I got offers to play festivals, the Rock Hard Festival, and then I got promoters, and then my agents go, "You want to do a tour of?" You want to do like 38 shows? I go, 38 shows? So I said, guys, you want to do 38 shows? And they go, no. So my band said no to me to do a lot of shows.
Why?
Because they didn't want to leave. Because
they didn't want to tour.
No, they didn't want to tour.
People are soft nowadays.
So these kids, but they were 20-year-old. You're trying to tell me 20-year-old metal musicians don't want to tour Europe?
Yeah, I don't get it.
How do you not tour Europe?
It's because the internet.
How do you not
The
tour?
internet's ruined everybody.
So,
what do you do to maintain your enthusiasm for life and all this stuff? Like, do you do any kind of like spiritual practice or exercise or anything
Nah.
like this? Nothing. No.
I just
You just exist.
I just exist in this world of rock.
Yeah.
I'm just glad to play. I love playing guitar. I love playing live.
But you get up early and you're on the phone with your label every day, type of thing.
And now I hired one of the best publicists in the world,
Right.
Chipster Entertainment PR, and he's got me so busy.
Really.
Right now that like right now I gotta
Doing podcasts and shit.
I'm going to Don Jameson later.
Oh, okay.
Soon. You
Yeah.
know. So, but he's got me so busy and so much PR and stuff like that. So,
What do you talk about with the label when you wake up in the morning? Like, what's there to talk about every day?
well, when's the next video coming out? They got me interviews. You know, there's all sorts of stuff to talk about. Believe me. You know, because we don't want them, because they have a lot of bands that they put out, and
Seems like metal's alive in Europe
it
and
sure
Germany
is
more
all
than
over.
it is in the U.S.
It really is.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we saw a lot of support for metal here. So
So you're just saying the band didn't want to tour.
the
with
band
you,
didn't.
then
Yeah,
you- then
the
you
band didn't
changed?
want to tour. I said, okay, guys, you're fired.
So that was that.
You're fired. You don't tell me how to work my brand.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. So I got Mike LaPond. I got Mark Lopes, my current singer, Mike LaPond, and the old drummer from Manowar, Rhino. He did a year with us. And he left right before Vakken. Then I got Lance to come and play.
So you did Vakken as Ross the Boss?
Yep, it was great. And I was also given the ambassador of the whole heavy metal history award in front of 90,000 people.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So with Denied by the Cross, does it ever freak you out, like having songs that are kind of like like religion or anti-God? Do you ever believe in God or like get afraid of God or anything like that?
Well, I have my own relationship. You know, I
Yeah.
am Jewish, but
Are you a believer?
yeah, sort of. But the song is not about anti-Christian or
Right.
beliefs. It's about Dracula.
Oh, okay.
Okay, it's Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you know the story
Right.
of Vlad's woman killing herself because the Muslims tossed in a message saying that Vlad was dead, she just like she jumped off the but when Vlad returned, she's dead in front of the priests. But the priests won't give her any benediction,
Right.
any services, because she killed herself.
Huh.
And in Christianity, if you kill yourself, you're done.
Right.
You're done. So
Same
that's
in
when
Judaism.
that's right. That's when you. That's
Yeah,
when
they don't like it when you kill yourself.
no. So
that's
that's
like cheating, big
yeah.
time.
So that's when Vlad went berserk. Then he damned the church to eternity.
Why? But why do you think that is? That whole like that metal thing and that sort of like anti-Christian.
The imagery.
Not that you guys have that necessarily, but like, where
Not
do
in
you,
power metal.
Where do you think that comes from?
Oh,
Just like people like.
I think just trying to be shocking.
people like to be shocking.
Yeah, like punks walking around with swastikas.
Right. Same sort of thing.
You a knucklehead. You shut up.
Yeah.
Stop. Come on.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. It's funny.
Who does your artwork? Because I just love. I saw your merch at the last
Yeah.
show, and it's just beautiful. Do you
Yeah.
have any input on that?
That's Stan W. Decker. Stan W. Decker. And he's fantastic. French guy. Another French guy. see?
Another friend, man.
He did Born a Fire, and he did By Blood Sworn, and then he just did this. I think this is incredible. I said, see, I don't want a big guy with a sword on my album cover
Nah,
anymore.
fuck that.
That is played out. I've seen so many covers with that. It's just enough.
Big
I
guys with swords.
Yeah, I mean,
I like this. What you got?
This
What you're
is-
working with better on this one.
that is what I'm working with now. I want that. That is what I want on my stuff. Because women are powerful. They're more powerful. To me, they're more powerful than men. So
Yeah. Well,
and the dragon is just.
Oh, that
you
guy
know.
on top there. Yeah, he's either protecting her or about to do something.
yeah.
You never know. But it's Born of Fire, Maiden of Shadows.
Nice.
That's
And the
cool.
album's coming out this Friday.
I would say today is Tuesday,
Yeah.
Friday.
Nice. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And then what's next? What's after this?
Well, glad you said that. We have a whole month in Europe
Oh, okay.
of touring, and we have special guests, the Burning Witches from Switzerland. They're female. And we have a band from the UK called Assamville. and they're like, they look like Motorhead a bit, but they're rock and roll maniacs. So my tour, my bus is going to be insane. We're all on the bus together.
Right.
Can you imagine the scene with burning witches, my knuckleheads,
Yeah.
and a sound?
You need to make a fucking reality TV show.
This is going to be.
Yeah,
This is going to
Ehud
be.
needs to go out with you and film
I'm telling
the whole
you,
thing.
we have 18.
Sell it to TBS.
Our bus is packed, are solid. The bus company won't let us take any more people on our bus.
What bunk do you pick?
I have the back lounge.
Back lounge. Oh, you get the back lounge?
Yes.
Damn.
I had
That's
it-
why he's
He
Ross
is the
the
boss.
boss.
I had it last. I'm telling you.
Why?
this-
Because you're claustrophobic?
Because I'm responsible for everything. It's my tour.
Oh, okay.
Is it clubs, theaters? What are you doing?
Yeah, it's everything, you know. I think this thing is going to explode. I think because they're putting out a record. We're putting out a record, and we played on their record. Mike and I played. We did Battle Hymns, the famous Manowar song, and me and Mike played on their song. So it's great.
Hey, if somebody told you, like back when you started, like in the Dictators or something, that you would be where you are now and still this enthusiastic about music and what you're doing and what you're getting ready to do, would you have believed them?
Back in the day.
Back in the day, I mean, like to be, you know, where you are now.
Well, back in the day, I was kind of stupid. I didn't know what I knew now. I'm like I was more willing to do anything just to play. You know,
Right.
you know, 'cause that kind of enthusiasm. I think that kind of enthusiasm I still have
Right,
to play. You know, because I view it as an honor to play.
right. What? So you think it's maybe because you're grateful that you have that kind of enthusiasm still?
Yeah. Because I don't know any better. Because I think that if I didn't have that enthusiasm and I was down and I was dour, I think my health would suffer. I don't think I'd be here right now.
Right.
I think I see some guys that are all chewed up and just, you know, but people that, you know.
Maintaining that enthusiasm for life is huge, but you don't really. I don't know. Normally, when people have that kind of enthusiasm, they have like, oh, here's my morning routine. I work out, I pray, I go meditate. Like, you're not doing any of that, and yet you still have all that enthusiasm.
Nah, I gotta work. I gotta play. I gotta work at my cage. I gotta do things. I don't think, you know, days off are foreign to me.
You know, the root of enthusiasm is full of God.
Oh, really?
Yeah, from like I guess Latin or something. It's like it means to be full of God.
Ooh,
Isn't that funny?
interesting.
Yeah. What do you think?
Nothing.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah, we probably got to let you go, right? Like
Soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. I gotta be
Cool. Well,
Yeah.
this will be pushed and come out on Friday. The
Did
day
I-
the album comes out.
Did I do good?
Oh, you did great.
Yeah. What else should we talk about before we go?
Who's one of your biggest icons?
Yeah. What are your
that you
favorite
grew
guitar
up
players?
that you actually met, other than Dio? I guess
I met B.B. King. I shook his hand.
What was that like?
Oh, it was like meeting God to me
Where'd you meet him?
in France, in Paris.
Oh wow.
I told him how much I loved him, and he was very, very humble. And it teaches me you have to be humble, and it teaches me to shake every fan's hand. And after the show, that's another thing about me. After the show, I put my guitar down and I zoom to the merch, and I shake everyone's hands. I give everyone a guitar pick. I do. I give every fan a guitar pick that asks. I sign everything. To me, that's my job, and that's my responsibility to them.
Yeah.
And B.B. King showed me that. I mean, someone like him was shaking everyone's hands and being nice, and
Right.
you know, okay, God does this.
God.
I'm gonna do that too.
Right.
You know, so that's teaching me humble. You have to be humble. You have to know. You have to respect all your fans. Thank them for their support. You know, because you know,
Wouldn't be
good
here
news.
without them.
Good news travels fast, but bad news travels faster.
That's smart. Pay attention, Pop.
That's true.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
You know, you're only as good as your last concert or your last group of people that you meet, and people want to get close to me. People, the more they know about me, they want to get close to me, and I'm willing to give a bit of myself up to them.
Right.
So.
Did your folks give you support and encouragement for what you're doing, or did they catch on to it, or never?
My folks were very disappointed that I didn't become a doctor.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they were really shattered.
And they never let it go? They
never let it go.
Really?
Yeah. They were always disappointed in me.
That's too bad.
As good as I was, getting record contracts and playing and going.
Having enthusiasm for life, that's victory. That's the thing. If you have enthusiasm for life, you are winning.
Your kid is doing something he loves, and he's getting by on it. I mean, what is there not to support?
Right.
My mother, till the day she died, should have been a doctor.
Yeah.
And really, it really ate me up.
Why do you think that you went towards the music that you went towards, and not just straight up blues, if B.B. King's your hero and stuff? Why don't you think you went more in that direction?
Well, because the Dictators, because of the rock and roll era I was in, we all grew up in, and I was more moved by Elvis and blue, but it was more of the music of the day, seeing Jimi Hendrix and Woodstock and all that stuff, and listen.
Yeah, but metal is different.
Metal was different. Black Sabbath ushered it in. Yeah. Black Sabbath and then Blue Oyster Cult. They ushered in the new sound.
Right.
The more darker sound.
And have you ever just thought, maybe I'll do something that's more straight up blues or something? Yeah,
there's a blues album in me going to come out soon.
I think so too.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, I just need the right platform for it. Oh my God. I just think that I just need the right platform, the singer, how am I going to do it, the singer, what kind of band is it going to be, it's because it's so sacred to me,
right,
that it's going to have to be amazingly great. Yeah. So I'm going to plan it out, but it's got to be the right singer. Who do I get? I mean, do I get a female singer? Do I get a male singer? What do I do? I mean, I wish I sang.
Why don't
better.
You sing?
I'm not the greatest singer in the world.
Sustained talking, Ross.
Oh, I know it is. I know it is.
You can do it.
I know. I can.
Dig deep.
I've sang.
Dig deep, bro.
I know. I've sung on a lot of records.
Wow, you got it.
I've sung on a lot of records, but I don't think I have the confidence to do that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you try it out, because with blues, it's it kind of gives you a whole new avenue.
Yeah, I know.
To explore.
I know.
And a new character.
Right.
Away from you can give yourself.
Joe Bonamassa?
Yeah.
You like him?
Yeah, he's fantastic.
Yeah, I think he's great, right?
Yeah.
So he's got a great voice. I mean,
he's a crazy great guitar player.
Will he say yes?
Huh?
Well, no, he's doing his own thing. He's a huge blues.
I know.
Yeah, he's great.
Team up right there. You've teamed up with everyone.
Yeah. But listen, I really respect him a lot. He's great. But I just don't know how to do it. I'm going to do it, but I just don't know
when.
The platform I'm going to do it on.
Well, thanks for doing the podcast, man.
Thank you, Ross.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
It's been fantastic talking to you, getting to know you a little bit.
Thanks.
Good luck on the tour and the new album.
Ross the Boss.
Appreciate it.
We'll be hearing more from you, I hope.
Yeah.
Hope so.
Where do people find you?
Well, they can find us on Facebook, Crackbook, Ross the Boss, my personal page, the Ross the Boss Band. On Facebook, on the usual places.
All the usual
places. My website
at
is
Ross the Boss.
My website, ross-the-boss.com.
Word.
And your batting cage.
My batting cage.
Plug that too?
What's that called?
It's called the Cage Baseball. It's in Middle Village, 62-40 Metropolitan Avenue, Middle Village, Queens, 11379.
When he's not on tour, find him there.
You want to work off some stress? Come to the batting cage. I'll set you up.
Swing and a miss.
Right.
Hey, better.
Thank you,
all right,
Ross.
Thanks, Ross. See you.
Okay, guys.
Thank you.
That was fun, guys.
Hi, this is Joseph Arthur. Thanks for checking out Come to Where I'm From. Please support us on Patreon, patreon.com/ComeToWhereI'mFrom. We are an independent podcast, and any contributions you can make are greatly appreciated.